This episode is brought to you by Leo Bato and Associates, ang realtor na patok.
So ngayon, paano ka naging chef?
Oh, kung paano ako naging chef?
Oh my God, no? Ang haba ng pinagdaanan natin now, na ngayon pa lang tayo magsisimula. How did you reinvent yourself? Mascom sa Lasal. See, talagang sinetap ko yung tinanong ko yun. Mascom sa Lasal, bilang nag-culinary. Bakit? Did you know that magkukulinary ka because it runs in the family?
No, that was never. I didn't even realize it until recently that, oh my gosh, I felt, because I was named after, the reason why it's so significant to me is I was named after both of my grandmothers.
Donita and Rose?
Yes. Donita is my dad's mother.
Okay.
So my paternal grandmother. And Rose is my mom's mom. So
Galing, no?
Rosario, yeah. So she goes by Rose and Mamang Rose. And yeah, I didn't realize, wow, how, the anointing or like how it's been passed down.
Unang-una, your mom taught theater. Napunta ka sa showbiz. Lola mo cooked. Ngayon, chef ka.
Na actress.
Na actress, di ba? Oh my God.
Yeah.
So ngayon, bakit? What made you? When did the epiphany happen na, you know what? I'm gonna cook for people.
Well, when I was in Oklahoma, those summers, I would always be like assistant to my grandmother with my sister. We always did what girls were supposed to do, cook in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And the boys were outside like tending the garden. And my brother was like, that's so effing unfair. So yeah, we were treated like princesses by our grandparents, especially my grandfather. And going back to every summer, I would see him reading his Bible every day, writing letters to missionaries. And I just really saw the love of God in his life. And he would say, Donita, because the way you pronounce my name is really Donita. It's
So
not
and then your
Donita.
accent. Donita.
It's Donita.
Yeah.
So he'd say, Donita, why don't you come right here and sit on my lap? And then he would say, have I told you about Jesus lately? Let me share a story with you. So he would share the Bible with me. And I don't really remember much of what he said, but I do remember feeling the love and just saying, I want that in my life. I want to feel that love. And so, reading my Bible.
Galing, na yung impression ng lolo mo sa'yo, no?
Yeah. And he died when I was young, so I can't wait to tell him that in heaven and tell grandma that, I followed in her footsteps and I became a chef, So yeah. So there was a time when I wasn't really generating a lot of income from the industry. In the Philippines, right?
Yep.
Sometimes like you're super hot and you get all this work and then you go through droughts. Like let's say after you finish a soap, right? You get paid this much, but then all of a sudden
Wala na.
they take you, the show ends and nobody wants to see you for a year.
Yes. Pahinga ka muna.
Yeah. It's very difficult. And so I thought I need to find something that I am passionate about that will generate income. And I thought, after I did my own little quiz, the pros and cons of, okay, I could do photography, food photography.
Were you married at this time or single?
Oh, I was still married.
Okay.
I was still married. And then...
Would you consult with your husband on time?
Yeah.
Okay.
We actually did this, because he used to do like corporate training stuff.
Yeah. So may Venn diagram ka na.
Oh, yung mga ganyan, like, mind mapping.
Yeah.
So I did a little test called CENTS, CENTS,
Okay.
and this was created by Anthony and Maricel Pangilinan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, C is what contribution to society do you think this will make? E is, does it excite you? N is, I forgot what N was. T is talent. Like how good are you on that scale as a talent? And S was something else, whatever.
Oh yeah, something else, whatever. Galing!
I forgot what it was. Anyway, so something else.
So sense.
And so I came up with a couple of other options, and what came up on the top was culinary. Because number one, I'm obsessed with cleaning. I'm very organized. And in culinary, That's
Yeah.
what you're doing all day long. You're cooking, you're cleaning, you're organizing, you're,
Question.
Yeah.
Cook, prep, plate, and then clean, or clean as you cook?
Clean as you cook.
See, yun ang kailangan kong gawin kasi gulong-gulo ako sa kusina.
But prep is, they say in culinary, prep is the most important part.
Right.
Mise en place. Everything in its place. So,
Okay.
so before you cook, make sure that you have all your ingredients prepped. And that includes your prep station, meaning you need to have a little wet towel under your chopping board, a sharp knife, got your knife skills going.
Why should you need a wet towel under your
so it doesn't
chopping
slide
board?
and you don't hurt yourself. Or a wet paper towel, something like that.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Make sure that you have good knife skills, curl your fingers,
'Cause-
stand shoulder width apart, your feet shoulder width apart.
Now that I know, I hope my wife is watching because kaming dalawa, ang style niya, she's a very good cook. Pero after eating her meal, she'll go to the room na and then sasabihin niya sa akin, bahala ka nang maglikpit. And when I go to the kitchen, I'm like, oh my God, sana kumain na lang tayo sa labas.
Do you need counseling after the show? That's not fun. You know what? You know what's funny is like the last thing that I want to do on my days off is cook.
Really?
Because I'm cooking and
Every
cleaning
day, yeah.
5 days a week, and I'm on my feet 9 hours a day. The last thing I want to do is cook. But if I'm in the kitchen and I have a 30-minute break, I love to cook for others. That's one of the reasons why I went into culinary is because my love language
Is, yeah, service. Yeah.
serving
Okay,
others.
so finally sinabi mo magiging chef ka. You went to school?
I went to culinary school for a year.
And did you like it while you were in school?
I loved every minute of it. As a matter of
Did you
fact,
forget showbiz while you were doing culinary?
well, I was still doing Umagang Kay Ganda.
Yeah, but kumbaga, in your head, I'm like, that's the past. This is the future. May
No,
ganon.
because I don't
Okay.
love one more than the other.
Interesting.
Yeah, I love both. I can't choose one over the other.
Kumbaga, augmentation to.
Yeah, I'm in a 3-way relationship and
Exactly. Wow.
I can't choose one over the other.
We have all of them. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you graduated, what was the first thing you did? And this was Pilipinas or this was here?
So I went to the Academy for International Culinary Arts, AICA, in the
AICA,
Philippines, or
okay.
AICA. And right after, because I was doing Umagang Kay Ganda, I would wake up at 2:45 every morning
To prep.
to get ready for the show.
show.
The show comes on at 4:45, which eventually became 4:30 in the morning. Sometimes every week we would go out to provinces and
Grabe,
different.
no?
Yeah, it was crazy. Sometimes I'd leave the house at midnight to go to a province like Batangas.
Parang yung Apple TV na palabas ni na Jennifer Aniston in the morning show. Oh, my, you should
there's-
watch that.
I saw it. Yeah.
Okay.
And
So
then
leave. Okay, so you did that show, Umagang Kay Ganda.
and then we finished the show at 8:30. Then post-mortem meetings.
Yeah.
Then
Every day post-mortem?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. I'd get home by 11 a.m.,
Mm.
10:30, 11 a.m. And then I would eat and then I'd go to the gym. I used to even go to the gym after that. And then 1 o'clock, I have to be at school, 1 to 6. And then I would go buy groceries and try to cook dinner, whatever I learned in that class. That was my practice for, just to make sure that
Well, that's a full day.
yeah.
And you did that for a year.
Yeah. It also affected our marriage, though.
Of
I would say,
course.
because
Because tinitingnan ko dun sa itinerary, nasa ng ano dun, di ba? Parang,
wala. Zero. Like, I couldn't.
did you know, yung mga flight attendant, and you guys can dispute this, yung mga flight attendant, yung may mga iba-ibang schedule, when ang ganda ng relationship nila na ganun, when all of a sudden nagtugma ang relationship, ang schedule nila, the relationship breaks up. May mga iba naman na tugma yung schedule nila, pag naiba yung schedule nila, the relationship breaks up. Weird but true. So, okay, so this happened to you. Now, graduate ka na, did you think that you were going to make a career out of culinary or...
Well, I noticed that women are kind of, you would think that in the professional industry, it would be obvious that women would dominate it. It's the men who dominate the culinary industry. Unless you're a pastry chef. Diba, most of the women are the pastry chefs. But me going into the hot kitchen was still a little bit taboo when I came in. So I was very disappointed to see how men would react to me making it into the kitchen. But then again, I kind of have this advantage in that I'm a celebrity.
Yeah.
So, back in the Philippines, it was like if I would have to carry something heavy.
Ma'am,
ay,
ma'am,
ay,
ako
ako
na.
na lang.
Yeah.
Ikaw, Miss D, Miss Donita, di ba? Hindi
Yeah.
pwede. But, so I told my husband that I needed to quit the show because burn out na ako. And I was having migraines. That's one of the reasons.
Dehydrated pala.
Yeah, that was kind of that. No, I would get migraines every other day or every 3 days, and I was taking very, very strong medication.
Wow.
Yeah, it was very bad. And I told him if I don't quit this show, I'm gonna die early. So I quit, and funds started depleting and depleting and depleting. And then I told him, I really need you to start working and stepping up. And he said, well, I can't be in your shadow forever. Here in the Philippines, I'm not worth as much as I am in the US. So I said, so what do you want to do? And he said, I think we should move back. I said, okay.